Welcome, Capricorn. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I pulled for you the Five of Wands. And this is describing groups, teams, collectives that you are a part of. In fact, it seems to me that your orientation, your perspective now revolves around teams. In other words, you may view your family as teams within a team. And what this is representing, naturally, this same idea relates to your work or your community, wherever you are. But this idea relates to the idea that you're looking less at fixed or historical roles or practices and seeing teams, groups of individuals coming together to solve problems in a way that is much more intentional and collaborative than you perhaps understood your opportunities in the past. So you don't see yourself as fitting into organizational niches, even in terms of your family, depending on the pecking order of siblings or other family members, extended family members. You don't see yourself as part of an organizational chart, for instance, regarding the relationship activities in your life. You see every group as a learning group, a learning lab, an opportunity to identify challenges or problems, and then every member taking responsibilities to bring their expertise or their best thinking to the solution of a problem. This can be challenging. It requires a high degree of participation of everyone, but it's also a way that you are able to detach yourself from your assumptions about others, and others similarly can detach themselves from their assumptions and work from a more inspired, grounded perspective. In other words, on the basis of the evidence you have, rather than on the role that the work that your mother has always done in the family, or the alliances in a professional setting that always seem to trump decisions that the group made. This creates a more even playing field, and the competition is really towards the end of crafting a better solution. So it's intended to bring out the best in individuals. This is a general reading, Capricorn, so it isn't going to resonate for all of you. If you're interested in a personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. And I am seeing the Justice card in your presence, your present. This is about inner harmony. This is about rectifying the labor you've already completed, the work you've already done, the effort that has already been made, the journey you have been on with what it is you desire and claim as what your end goal. So that there's a way in which you may have felt the victim again of an organizational chart. Wherever your place was on the hierarchy of positions, that's where you felt stuck or lodged or oppressed. And now you realize that you're not powerless, you're powerful, and you can create that through these more equitable conversations and learning labs, or discussions among others who come together to solve a problem on equal terms. This is giving you the voice and the advocacy to promote your ideas in a way based on the merit of those ideas, rather than on the entitlement of your position or the disenfranchisement of your position. And this is giving you a sense of greater equity and the way of being recognized and recognizing the expertise of yourself and others. And it also builds in an idea that we're evolving, we're growing. Our sense of justice has moved to a place of recognizing equity as a value in a way that equality was once a value that we've come to appreciate in a more nuanced way. In other words, equity contains the idea of equality just based on the needs of individuals, which feels much more just, much more fair, and providing much better and greater access to those that need it. In the past, the Hierophant. You are a teacher in some capacity. In whatever position you've been, in whatever role you've occupied, you have tried to bring others along with you. You see that as your role, even as a gatekeeper, to identify those with the talent, to acknowledge that talent, and to provide options for those that want to increase their level of participation in an organization or institution, their commitment. This also relates to some of our traditional institutions like marriage. This relates to commitment. You're committed to learning what you know, to utilize that knowledge to improve conditions for others and to bring others along with you. This also can be a way in which you recognize the institution of marriage without being married. For some of you, obviously, you're not all married. Many of you are happy being on your own. It is not to denigrate or detract from the idea of commitment. You can be committed to your own purpose, your own talent, your own progress forward. You can be committed to a knowledge base that you recognize is critical to improving the world in some way or making a significant contribution. So in this way, your concept of teaching and learning is deeply integrated into all activities as a result of your understanding that the purpose of challenges, the purpose of many of the hard things you've undergone is to learn. In the future, the King of Cups is a beautiful emblem of your maturity, your emotional wisdom, maturity, and generosity. So this has a bit to do as well with the idea that you are elevating your creative or imaginative expression in some way. There's a fuller integration that the challenges you've experienced become the fodder or the fuel for what it is that you need to express, want to create as a vehicle for that expression. You are absolutely seen as an advisor to others. And no matter where you are on your employment or professional track, others see you as somebody with a lot of experience. And you are best at allowing others to share their stories, or at you sharing your story and allowing others to find that the meaning, the lesson for themselves. In other words, you're not handing prescriptions to folks. Instead, you are narrativizing your ability to overcome challenges, the stories of your survival, your triumph over difficult conditions in a way that has helped you to reveal what once appeared to be a weakness, a deficit, has actually come to be your greatest strength. And this is important for you, Capricorn in particular. For some of you, depending on your age, you've progressed into a Pisces sun. And there's a way that the North Node in Pisces is having an impact on you, and that completely depends upon your own chart. But yeah, there's something here about your ability to be expressive and creative in a way that the world can recognize. If you are enjoying this reading, please like this video. Please share this with others if you feel so moved. And thank you for subscribing to my channel, Pacific Tarot. And I pulled the regret card. I know that I cannot change the past. Yeah, this feels particularly for Capricorns that have been constitutionally groomed to understand the right way to do everything, the expectation of others, the responsibility one must bear in any regard, the idea that you haven't followed the traditional track, that things didn't work out the way they were supposed to work out, is something that you are continuing to work on within yourself. This is about a self-acceptance that there was something else for you than what was traditionally expected. It's difficult for you to release that sense of regret or even shame as the result of doing things in a way that is unique to you. Not being the Capricorn that everyone thinks Capricorns are, right? Not fabulously wealthy, not the captain of some industry or the boss of the army. I don't know. As a Capricorn, I've been told my potential lies in so many totally unrelated, unattractive ways. But there's often a lot of shame when we don't do it the way others think that we should or we can, right? If you can do that, why wouldn't you make a lot of money? Like, right? But so this is a little bit about healing that sense of shame, that being stuck in the past. In the present, the Justice card is clarified by the Strength card and the Ace of Swords. So your truth is actually the source of your strength, your understanding why you're so strong now. And it feels very tied up with your having taken the less conventional path. At least most of the Capricorns I'm reading for have certainly been capable, competent, productive individuals. There's no question about that. But there is a strength that was required in order for you to not to go against the current, to go against the grain. That was built into you. You didn't say, I'm going to be a rebel. You couldn't help it. Your truth was something else. And I think it's so interesting because you also had to overcome the resistance of the social order. There's something about who you are. Are you a woman? Are you a person of color? That contributed to this idea that you had to fight to be who you are, that you had to resist all the labels, all the expectations, all the questions people had because, right, why aren't you playing the stock market? Or many of you do and have, but I think if you understand what I'm trying to say, you haven't always gone the conventional way. And in fact, that isn't necessarily what Capricorns are best at. There's a whole level of experience that is appropriate for Capricorns that is much more about a solitary, meditative experience. And that has given you the strength and the ability to learn from this different path that you've taken, this different truth that you embody. In the past, the Hierophant is clarified by the Three of Wands and the Death card. Again, I feel like you are resisting the sense of control that you once believed you needed to occupy as a teacher, as an authority in some way, as a gatekeeper. I think you're understanding that that didn't feel right for you, that you resist that. because what you're creating is something completely different, unique, and original to you. So the idea that you are a gatekeeper for an institution or organizations, or you pick out the people that are going to be good at something, or you keep out the people that the organization doesn't want, whatever gatekeeping, how that applies to your life, there's a way that you actually are more interested in creating something new with others who are like-minded. And you've actually been planning this, but you couldn't plan it until you release this more traditional expectation of yourself. These assumptions about who you are has been a heavy, heavy weight in your life. And there are few who have appreciated who you are, despite the fact that you haven't been successful in a conventional way. But releasing that, letting go of those beliefs, recognizing that that never was your path, even if people said it was, has actually freed you up to engage your talents, your interests, your contacts in a way that is liberating you to build something that reflects your interests, your talents, and your gifts. The King of Cups in the future is clarified by the Five of Wands again, and the Seven of Wands. Your commitment to the collective, to the team, to the group effort, your a complete embrace of recognizing every opportunity to work with people as a way of learning new skills, of taking the responsibility of discovering new options, is absolutely intact, specifically because you've learned to limit the way that others expect you to fix things for them. Because of your competence and capability, the fact that, as someone once said to me, can't you just do a half-assed job? Like, can't you do that? And of course, I probably can and probably have, but the idea that when you do things, you do it the best way you can, because there's going to be consequences if you don't, right? And as a result of that, people rely on you to do stuff, to get shit done, and you do that if you take it on. But you've had to learn to discriminate, to set clear boundaries. You're not at everyone's disposal to fix stuff all the time. And now that you have understood the path that you are on, you feel liberated to create from this place of excitement, interest, passion. You are clearing away the space that once everyone else sucked up, and you are now able to focus on the development of this new enterprise, this new expression. This is not a new thing. This is a talent or a gift that you've had for a long time. And in fact, it feels to me like you've always had it, but you never saw a way to integrate it into your life until now. Now it's an absolute necessity. It isn't an option. It's not something you can sideline. I'm going to complete this reading, Capricorn, with a crystal oracle, and hope that this reading has been useful to you. And I pulled the turquoise, one of my favorites. Prioritize your health. And for me, this means more than simply going to the doctor and taking care of business. It certainly includes that. But it means the way your habits and routines support and structure what it is you're trying to do. So there's a level of health that includes your mental health, your spiritual health. Like, are you meditating? Do you take care of yourself? Do you attend to your needs? Do you recognize and give yourself the love that others are not always able to give you? This is beautiful. this is absolutely resonating with your high heart. You're knowing that place between the throat and the heart chakra that really is clear about your purpose and your mission and is poised to articulate that through some talent or gift you have. So thank you for this beautiful reading, Capricorn. Until next time, namaste.